welcome back to the Minetrek.net game server. I'm currently on the lowest deck of the Enterprise E. Figured I was going to kind of clean stuff up. Start down here in the lower deck, kind of work my way up and whatnot. So I figured I'd bring you along with me as I kind of looked around these lower decks and see if there's anything I could find, fix, or break. Adapt, modify, or tweak. Anyways, go through here and this is torpedo storage for the F torpedo bay. We come along through here, and I think in a previous video we may have actually done some work in here, but I don't recall. It's been so long. Got your torpedo loader. Yeah. Anyways, there's some remnants left over from the old design that I have to kind of go through and modify. And see, we got torpedoes up in those racks, but nothing down here in these racks. Kind of interesting, huh? Yeah. So, whoops. Let's go ahead and fill out these racks while we're sitting here. Kind of wondering what happened to my torpedoes. But now I know they're here, but they're not really here because they're digitally removed. Okay, that sounded really weird, but I'm gonna live with it. Is what it is. Got to deal with it. Okay, and you actually it's like this, isn't it? Yeah, like that. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, down. Now, okay, it is another rack. Okay, I thought for me that was actually the where you need to be standing to work kind of a thing, and it isn't. Boom, boom, boom. Right, now this actually could be a rack storage. Yeah, it is sort of kind of a system where as the torpedoes are loaded, they can be shot down through here and right to here to be worked on, modified, or they can be loaded into the loader itself and fired to the torpedo launcher. And yeah, it's a dual launcher system. So let me show you what I mean by that. We slip out here. It can fire. As you can see, torpedoes are actually loaded in the system. So boom, 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 boom. We can fire 4 torpedoes at one time in fast succession. This is an aft torpedo launcher, lowest part of the deck. Don't mind the yellow; those are just used for markers for the decks. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll come back down here and add in the rest of these torpedoes later. But I just wanted to show you that right there as part of the process. Let's go back through here. Here's the bottom of the warp core. Well, part of the cooling towers of the warp core. And if we come over here, we're missing ladders. Oh, no, say it isn't so. So we got to go through here and got to grab these ladders. Come on, let me up there. There's always something missing in Minetrek. Yeah, ladders. Now, this whole section, drive section of the Enterprise E, all the way down, boy, it kept getting changed every couple of days. I'd come in and somebody had tweaked it or added something to it, modified it, changed some blocks. Oh boy, it was just an absolute drag of a nightmare to deal with. It got really frustrating there for a while that I just kind of gave up and stopped working on it because, yeah, if everybody's going to keep changing stuff, there's, I can't make a modification and then come back 2 days later and find out what I've done's been undone. So got to step back and let nature take its course. And eventually they got the hint and left me alone to do what I do. But anyways, this section here also got reworked. This was one of those areas of the ship where I actually lowered it by 1 block. Again, you really can't tell because it all blends in very beautifully. And it allowed me to, of course, put a floor in here instead of standing on the hull. And now this was a very cramped space. If you go back to the Enterprise E, you can download it from Planet Minecraft. And the first version of the Enterprise E, it was a very cramped space down here. Very busy, very, I don't know how to say it, hard to navigate, hard to figure out. So I cleaned it up quite a bit, cleaned this whole deck up quite a bit, and I'm very happy with it. I was able to put a floor in here, keep the machinery and all the other stuff that needed to be in here. And then up through here, I was able to add, of course, the torpedoes and probes and whatnot. And then we have a gangway that allows us to come up here in look at these. These are, of course, escape pods, lower escape pods. And then back into here, this room here, more torpedo storage. Boy, they are stacked in there, aren't they? Not a fan of that. How they got stacked in here like that. Let's go ahead and get rid of these ones in the center here. Go do that on the port side as well. But we got all like our systems and stuff like here. And again, if they have to work on the torpedo launchers or crew the torpedo launchers, they can step around here and do it like that, or set up the torpedoes, then come up the ladders and go about their business, you know. Because some spaces are a little bit tight to fit in. Let's just face it, that's just the nature of the beast. It's going to get rid of, I think these are just remnants left over from when I modified this section. I didn't come back through and delete them. My bad. But yeah, come through here, and now we're on the next deck up. I couldn't tell you what deck numbers these are. I honestly do not recall. And what was this one? Deck 41? I think there's 42 decks or 28 decks. I have no idea how many decks are on board the Enterprise E. But yeah, we've got a little workspace here. This is the cooling towers of the trunk line that kept. This is one of the areas that kept getting changed, and blocks kept getting replaced. And finally, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go through. I'm going to standardize this thing all the way down, one style all the way down. And once I did that, things didn't get changed again. So I was pretty happy with that, and it was actually pretty encouraging. So I went ahead and chalked it up to a win and moved on about my merry. And then when I came back to remodel the whole ship, that whole area had been changed again. Somebody went back through, and one section would be one way, then it would be the way I had set it up, then something else, and something else, and crying out loud. You know, just crying out loud. Anyways, here's the warp core. This was another area that had to have some TLC done to it to kind of clean it up and make it look a little bit decenter. Beforehand, it was a very awkward looking space, but I'm very happy with how it came out now. Now, on the other side over there, again, is that Jeffrey's Tube crawl space, power trunk line we were just at. You can step out there and go along that corridor, and there's a little access point to get back in there. But here's the warp core. And I think this ladder only goes up one more deck, but we're not going to do that one right now. And right here is like a life support, and it also has little ladders that go up to the upper area of it as well. And again, this room here, this whole deck has been completely revised as well. When I changed and I was able to move stuff around, I gained a lot of extra space that I was able to utilize more effectively, and that's what I did. Here's lifeboat systems. Here's a space bathroom. Yay! Because you never know when you got to get rid of your space junk, you know? Then no these rooms. Again, I could switch this room into being one of the new idea or concept I'm running with. This block here along all the walls, like this. You know what? I'm going to do that because I can. If it doesn't work, I can always come back and change it again, because guess what? It's on recording. Yay! Okay, let's go ahead and we'll do the one on the starboard side as well real quick. But stairwell, I had to add in a stairwell, so we can go to the stairwell. Now this is hull, so it does have carpeting. You can't get away from the hull in all places, so you do have to make compromises. And we've talked about compromises before. And compromising is part of working with Minecraft. Minecraft in general, excuse me. You have to make a lot of compromises, and you do what you can do, and you move on. And hopefully it works. Hopefully it all works out really well. But come back through here, and we'll go forward. And this was one of the compromises. I wanted to have this turbolift come all the way down to this deck, and beforehand I couldn't do it with the way it was designed, so I had to do a slight, very, very subtle change to the hull. It was 2 blocks. That was the only change I had to make to that. And before, I was afraid to make any changes to the hull, and now that I have kind of a experience with doing it, I know how to make a change. I know how to. I figured out how to make a change in certain areas of the ship that are just subtle, and just they don't end up changing everything like I did on the Voyager, where you lose the entire dimension of the hull. So yeah, that was a bad experience. I learned my lesson. Bad me. But then we have all this scientific-y sonar stuff, whatever they want to call it here. Subspace radio comm transceiver. All right, yay! And then in here we have we don't need. Well, actually, I'll leave it up in case one of the suns does get torpedoed. But we have emergency force field generators, standardized block, and then if we come back here, I think these are access, just little servicing rooms. Very cool, very cool, very cool. All right, I'm not seeing too many things in here that need to be fixed. In fact, I haven't found anything yet. Let's go ahead and take the. What's in here? Oh, just a little alcove room. Take the stairwell up one deck here, and then it goes all the way up. Keep taking the stairwells. It'll take you all the way up. Now we're on this deck. A large room here. Some of these rooms aren't yet, because they're new, haven't been labeled for things or don't have systems integrated into them yet. And we'll get to that. Eventually I will get to that. This is life support. I can recognize the machines. It's mainly life support. This is a life support room. Life support is redundant across the ship. And again, they can always manufacture new parts and build additional life support equipment in cargo bays, hangar bays, exotic atmosphere bays, wherever they want to do with it. Shield reinforcement node, shield reinforcement node. And you come through here. These are the phasers. Lower phaser strip. I do believe it banks upwards as well. Not sure. Okay, let's go ahead and do something with this here real quick. Why am I doing this? Because it needs to be done. And stairs. There we go. And let's go ahead and do this real quick here. Where's my... There's that. And where's my other one I'm looking for? You. There we go. Alright, so now it doesn't look so hunky-dory. It gives a little bit more depth to it. Still the same block, but it gives a little bit more depth to it. Let's get out of here. It's claustrophobic. Let's work our way towards the aft section of this deck. What do we have? Again, we have life support. We have a room. We have a crossover corridor. There's a name for these. I can't remember what it is. It's corridor, and then it's passageway, and gangway, and there's a bunch of stuff. I'm probably misusing all the terms. Please forgive me if I am. We have a lounge, which I could easily set up. Ooh, 2 bathrooms. Check it out. Is and her or Zur and Zix, and we don't judge. But yeah, I guess I could set this up too. Put some chairs and stuff down here. I will come back and do that later. I'm not in the mood for that right now because reasons. Go through here. We've got ourselves a phaser storage room. Remember, these are not weapons until some jackass uses them as a weapon. Then they are weapons. Otherwise, they are inanimate objects that are pacifists. These phasers, all of these phasers, and indeed all of your firearms are all inanimate objects. They are all pacifists until you or somebody else misuses them or uses them as a weapon. Then they are a dangerous tool. Yes, distinctions matter, folks. Don't let some politician trick you into thinking you got to give up your personal rights because they don't feel safe with you having freedom. Never sacrifice your freedom for some other person's feelings. Keep that in mind. Their feelings don't give a crap about you. They just care about themselves. They're narcissists. That's why you never give up a freedom. You never let them limit your freedoms. Ever. The moment they put a muzzle on freedom of speech, it's game over. The moment they devalidate your ability to self-defense, game over. Don't let us, whether number one or number two, and the amendments, don't give them up, people, because if you do, you end up being banned on YouTube. Well, even if you don't, you get banned on YouTube these days. So, yeah, Susan, bad. Anyways, got ourselves a little space bathroom here. You know, that's where you can take all that I just said. Don't. Actually, it's I'm not joking. It's a very valid point that you don't sacrifice your freedom because somebody else fears it. Don't let them take your freedom from you. Don't just oppose gun control because it's racist in nature. It was designed to limit freed black slaves so that they couldn't defend themselves from Southern Democrats who wanted to string them up and end their lives in the most heinous fashion imaginable. So, yeah, don't give up your Second Amendment. Don't give up your First Amendment. Don't even want to put muzzles on them. Because the moment they silence you or make you afraid to speak out, they win. And that's how heinous, horrible things happen, like genocides and stuff. Because good people say nothing. They're afraid to because they might get shamed or, you know, Antifa might rally against them or something. And those folks that talk about Antifa, they're not freedom fighters, folks. Those guys are people. They are the thing that they accuse everybody else of being. They are projecting. They are the fascists. And even though they're communists, so calling them fascists kind of a, you know, communism and fascism are the same coin of socialism. You have a socialist coin. On one side is fascism. On the other side of that socialist coin is communism. It's the same coin. And that's where you get the term right-left. You got on the right side is fascism. On the left side is communism. And it's the same coin. It's socialism. Anywho, enough of that depressing talk and whatnot. We are down in the pod, the antimatter pod bay. These are all antimatter pods. Again, I'd like to redesign these. I'm not happy with these. I don't remember who designed these, but they're very busy and they're very dated looking, and they do need to be redesigned. But they also have to keep the same shape that they currently are. And they're not real big antimatter pods, but they are, you know, quite a few of them through here. And I want to redo the flooring and stuff like that in here, but I think it's limited on the floor. Is actually no, it looks like I probably pull it off. I should clear these out of here and redo the floor down here so that it's much more, you know, tracky looking spacey thingy where these things move in and move out. Now these do have their own loading and unloading door or hatch. I think it's over here somewhere. Yeah, you can load and unload these things. So there is a hatch that allows me to load and unload them. It's back behind this one right here. Now if we cross over, let's go ahead and transition out of the hole here. You can see it right here. This is the hatch. They come out on these little rail things and then they transition out of the ship. There's the hatch right there. Alright, so yeah, these things they can only be one size, and that's the size they have to be. Then we have oh, that's interesting. I don't like that. Let's go ahead and go back to solid. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. So let's go ahead and adjust that so that it doesn't look like that, because that's just hideous. Let's go to the other side and fix that as well. These are the things you find when you're in the process of doing other things that, you know, just little stuff like that. You see it and you're like, oh, I don't like that. That looks like crap. And you want to fix it, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just making tweaks. I'm fixing things as they need to be fixed. And sometimes you pull it off, sometimes you don't. You know, it's just the way it is. Go forward here, we'll drop down. Get rid of that. Go to the other side, get rid of the one on the other side. This is still a very busy environment that probably could use a lot more TLC and whatnot in here. Now these blocks have changed. These gold blocks, no, I guess they're still the same blocks that were always that way. I just don't remember ever using them in a design before, so someone probably came along and modified these systems to include those blocks and give it a bit of a different texture or different look, which is fine. I mean, they work, they do good. They don't bother me none, but yeah, what can you do? Different tastes, different tastes. And then you got transfer points. I like that. I love how that looks. And not so much. But let's go ahead and get out of here and move our way forward. So we made some modifications in here that benefit us. That's very good. This room did take a lot of work to get to, because again, I had to rework this deck above it and down through here as well in order to get this room to look halfway decent and to put it in line with the rest of the updated versions of the build. Again, our little access point there, come out through here, and we'll work our way back out into the hall area. I mean into the corridor area. Passageway. Was the security. Now I'm wondering if it's security on the other side or first aid. Okay, you can see it coming up from there into here, and then it goes into that system in there, works its way around. Again, the warp core. There's our little ladders through here. Not really. Oh, this is a structural integrity field. I added this Jeffries tube in because I needed it to go from the top to the bottom, and I needed a point to access it. So this is one of those additions to this deck, was this Jeffries tube through here. Yes, it is definitely a medical section on this side. Very good, very good. And antimatter systems access and a space pooper. And we'll go back this way here. Yeah, they can have my phaser pistol when they pry it from my cold dead fingers. Or yeah, when the charge pack is completely depleted, then they can have it. That's when I whip out the Batliff. Oh, they'll probably ban those too. All right, that deck's looking pretty good. Minor changes to it. Let's go on up here and check out this deck here. And emergency equipment storage. Again, I could. You know, I'm not going to. I'm so broken because I like the design of that. Oh, crap, I'm going to do it because why not? Like I said, I can always go back if I decide that I don't like it later on, or somebody else doesn't like it later on. I can always go back and change it. But they do. They look like little drawers, and they work so well as little drawers. And you know, these things could also be, you know, hatches for actual, you know, morgues. You know, beep. Yep, this is Ensign Redshirt. Yeah, we lost him on that Planet X. Who's that one there? That's Ensign Redshirt too. You know, don't wear red shirts if you're in Star Trek. Bad things happen. Well, we'll come back to that. Let's go here and modify this area here, then we'll come back and look in there real quick. Gotta get up here, Come on. There we go. Bingo. Nice thing is, this tool makes it so much faster to do these things. And granted, I could also just, you know, set points and just enter in the command and change all the blocks too, but nah, I'm gonna do it. Alright. Let's walk along here, and you can see out into space, which is scary. Windows on a spaceship. Alright, this was a modified area. Again, that goes back down to that service point, and you can see right here. Oh, darn it. Ugh. Like I was telling you, you find these things, you gotta fix them when you find them, or else they'll just keep sucking you dry. All right, we'll go out here, back into here, make sure we can still go down this. Yes. All right. Why is there a door there? That's not a door. How did that happen? That is weird. Now I gotta go back to the other side, do it real quick. Same thing over here. That's not a door. How did that happen? Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Come back here. Alright, so that's been fixed. Then we have force field. Let's go up here and go into here. This is a little servicing point, the backside for the warp core. Very good. A little servicing area here. Come back out. Go to the starboard side. This is a force field engineering department. Basically a force field for the warp core. And there's our windows. And let's go check out this room here. Alright, this is a fabricator room. It allows them to work on and fabricate parts for the ship. One of many. Transporter allows them to beam the part where they need to beam it. Again, they could manufacture the parts here and beam them pretty much outside the ship or to any point inside of the ship that they have coordinates for, which is a big plus. Then they have a cargo loader, so they can actually manufacture the part, put it on the sled, and send it to where they need to send it via the turbolift system. That works very well. Looks like this room here is pretty solid. Got some machinery in here. It works out well for the transporter. Let's go ahead and go forward here. There's our stairwell. Another system room here. Looks like it's for the escape pods. Systems for the escape pods. There are the escape pods. 4 of them on this deck, I believe. That's a total of 8, 4 per side. Another space bathroom. And what do we have here? Gravity generator. There must be an emergency gravity generator to stabilize the ship so they can launch stuff, I guess. Torpedo magazine. Wow, check this out. A big torpedo magazine. Of course, we're missing all the torpedoes from this level right here. To go back through and add all those in. But yeah, that's a massive torpedo magazine. Holy heck. Where does it go? Well, it goes up to this big torpedo magazine on the sky up here. Did you guys see that? It looks like pink. Oh, it's just a reflector thingy. Okay. Looks pinky to me. Anyways, these 4 torpedo launchers. These are torpedo launchers right here. It's like this torpedo is getting ready to get loaded into that launcher. And so forth. Awesome. Yeah, that's one thing Enterprise E has, is an abundance of torpedo launchers. It's one thing I really would enjoy if they did with Star Trek Online is actually the ships, or if the ship has a X amount of torpedo launchers, that's the amount of torpedo launchers it has in Star Trek Online. Because it would make Star Trek Online a little bit more immersive. And it's still a fun game. But some of the ship designs, like the Sovereign, you have the same amount of weapons force aft, just like any other ship. There's nothing that makes it unique, and that is really kind of sad. Anyway, so we have our torpedo launcher control room. It's funny because we have a torpedo control launcher room here, but we don't have one in the primary hall. So I guess all the torpedo are controlled from this room right here, which would make sense because this is a pretty well shielded area. Come up through here and on top of stuff and whatnot. Let's go back out this way here. Yes, I guess in retrospect I should add a torpedo system control primary hall if there isn't one. And there's a torpedo magazine, gravity generators, space toilets. Yeah, okay, so only a minor change on this deck, which is not bad. Very good indeed. Alrighty. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and call it a video at this point, and I will see you on the flip side. If you'd hit that like button for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you would consider donating to the server, link in the description below. It greatly helps us keep building these big ships. Every dollar matters. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.